Hey everybody, this is Sheets, and Bobby was at the World Series tonight, and the World Series just ended a little while ago, and boy, what a crazy ending to that. And what I texted him, what I would like to do is I want to do kind of a last minute review of the NFL slate, because since we did the video on Friday, or I guess that was just yesterday, so much has changed with respect to who is playing and things like that, that I wanted to at least show you, at least from my perspective, how that impacts the position players and how it impacts the stacks and how it impacts at least my exposure as well. So let's go through this. For those of you that weren't paying attention, Aaron Jones is not playing, raising Jamal Williams up to the top. David Njoku got some good coach speak. They said that he was going to be a big part of the offense in Cleveland with the tight end position, and he's at 3K on DraftKings, for example. Joe Mixon officially out, so Giovanni Bernard comes a very strong play. And what was the other? There was another thing that happened. Michael Thomas out again. So just wanted to kind of rerun everything and just show you where I'm at heading into tomorrow morning. And I guess things could change in tomorrow morning, in which case this would be kind of irrelevant. But I think we should be good with respect to this. So again, we're going to go kind of position by position, and then I'm going to show you some stacks. I'm going to show off my little spreadsheets here, and then show you some of my exposures. So just because it's alphabetically listed in my spreadsheet, defense doesn't really change too much. It's still the Browns and Washington. It's the top plays, and they're both going to be pretty highly owned too. So it's really not going to be, no great shakes who you play on defense. With respect to the quarterback position, I still have Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray as the two best kind of cash game quarterbacks. And Deshaun Watson is going to show up as a really, really big part of my GPPs as well. And part of the reason for that is because also Aaron Rodgers is going to be showing up for a great amount of my GPP lineups also. The reason for that is this is the spillover effect from having Jamal Williams at 4K. Because, not only is he getting all the work, but he's getting the passing game work too. So you can actually use him as part of your Green Bay stacks pretty easily at really cheap price, allowing you to play, Devontae Adams, and then allowing you to run back with these Houston guys. So this Jamal Williams thing is not just, something that allows you to play Jamal Williams at 4K. I mean, it allows you to the stacks of these teams just become just so powerful. You can get them, all these guys in, and that's where I'm probably gonna end up going. You'll see my exposures as I get to the end of this, but so that's how this affects the quarterback position. Now, with respect to running back, here's the deal. As Biden would say, Jamal Williams and Alvin Kamara, just lay so far over the field here that I'm going to be probably having 100% of both of them. It's just, I'm all too willing to, take on some projection risk in the name of low ownership in GPPs, but only if it's close. Like for me, these guys they're just such layovers to everybody else that, you just have to play them. And look, this is America, right? You don't have to do anything you want. And yeah, there is some chance that they get outscored. Derrick Henry's a good running back. Ezekiel Elliott's a good running back. Chris Carson, all these guys below him are good running backs, but just their opportunity, as a function of their price and their efficiency projects just to be too strong. Michael Thomas being out, that's just, if Alvin Kamara wasn't a great enough play as it was, Michael Thomas being out just makes it even more so. And Jamal Williams at a 4K is just, you just have to play him, I think. So that's how all this affects running backs. And Giovanni Bernard's good. He's a really good point per dollar play. I'm ranking these based on the kind of a combination of of point per dollar and and raw points. If I did rank these guys based on just point per dollar, it would be he'd be like third, actually like second, just behind what's his name? He'd be behind Alvin Kamara, but just barely. Actually, just a little bit ahead of him. So you could play 3 running backs easily, and then play whoever you want, really, at wide receiver. And that's how I'm getting all these Houston guys, these Devontae Adams and all this stuff. So, yeah. All these guys look like good plays, Carson, Elliott, Henry, and yeah, there are variations where they will outscore them, but I just don't think it happens often enough. I just don't. All right, so moving down to tight ends. Tight ends, yeah. So here's the deal with this Njoku business. I mean, you can get Jamal Williams at 4K, and you can get Bernard or 4,500. You don't need to play Njoku, like you know what I mean. Like you don't need to play him. There's no like just a high price wide receiver, for example, that you have to have that would merit you having to play Njoku, and that's the thing. And if he becomes really popular, that for me, I'm only going to have a little bit. I maybe have like 10% of him. And I think for me, I'm just prefer to pay up, pay Waller, Kelsey, maybe some Kittle, but that's where I'm at with the Njoku business. But the thing is that Tanyan, even though he's not really the best of these alternatives, he just falls within these Houston stacks just so nicely that he's just going to get owned by me, kind of like just a carload. Wide receiver, I've referred to it 30 different times, 20 different times, 30 different ways. But Devontae Adams now is you just can play him, and he's going to be owned. But are people really going to play 3 Green Bays and 2 Houstons? I hope not. That's probably what I'm going to do. Now these Seattle guys are really strong, like Lockett and Metcalf. They're really strong, and the thing is that they're kind of pricey, but you can get them in because you could, if you want, you could play these cheaper running backs, and then you can stack the Seattle guys. So they're a pretty strong option. So what I want to do now is just kind of like show you this kind of thing that I have, which is my my stack ratings over here. So I kind of like rank them in certain ways. I'm not going to get into all of this, but like the top rated stack for me, value plus raw points is going to be Seattle, but they also are carrying a little more ownership than some of these Green Bays and Houstons. So I would I think they're all pretty equal, but the thing is that this is really powerful. You have both of these guys in the same game. I think the Arizona stacks are a little weaker than the Seattle stacks. So, I prefer, or even weaker than the Atlanta stack. So what I prefer is to just pair both these together, game stack this Houston Green Bay game. And I had this problem when we spoke about this Friday that I found myself all concentrated in this game. And unfortunately, the recent developments have made it worse. So that's where I'm going to be. Let's just, for the hell of it, let's run this for, you want to run this for Fanduel? Yeah, let me do that. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry. So we'll run this for Fanduel. Let me just see if there's any noticeable difference with respect to the rankings here on Fanduel. So again, we'll do it by position. And again, starting with defense, Bills are the best play here. They're going to be owned. So again, I wouldn't worry too much about where that's going to go, about your defenses. Just go where your optimizer sends you, I guess, or try to pair your running backs with them. You don't worry about playing the Bills if you don't have to. Quarterback, same guys, Murray, Watson, Wilson, and Cash. We'll get to the stacks in a minute. Running backs, It's not quite as 100% mandatory, but it's pretty damn close. Yeah, Jamal Williams, Alvin Kamara, and then probably you want to play Giovanni Bernard or Kareem Hunt. So it's very similar here on FanDuel. Let me just look for a second. Tight end. Yeah, same. Kelsey and Kittle. You don't really need to play Njoku. And then wide receiver. Same deal. Adams, Metcalf, Lockett, the same main guys. Stephon Diggs shows up a little bit better, a little bit more over here. It's kind of hard to play him because there's just no Jets run back. It's just a kind of a gross game. But even still, these Houston guys look still pretty good over here. Let me look at my stacks on FanDuel. Let's take a look and see how these rank. Yeah, so it looks like Seattle rates to be the top stack, but they're carrying the most ownership. So again, I think that the Houston Green Bay game over here is going to be strong, you know, and I'm probably going to have a little more Seattle over here. But yeah, it's still going to be that Green Bay Houston game. Let's actually take a look at this. Let's see what the ownerships are right now. So on DraftKings, like you'll see, like right now, I literally have 100% Williams and almost 100% Kamara. And then I have, look at this quarterback, 51% Rodgers, 44% Watson. Oh, well, see what happens. And then on FanDuel, yep, I got like a third of the lineups stacking the crap out of Green Bay. And then a third of them plus have Watson stacking the crap out of Houston. And then here I have a little Wilson and that stuff. And then a little bit of, what else do I have in here? So I saw a little Stafford, little Josh Allen, just some stragglers more on FanDuel because I'm playing 50 lineups over here. But, I mean, overall, I'm pretty well, you know, well committed to this Houston game, which kind of feels a little dirty in GPP play, in MME play. But, you know, it's a very weird situation. It's very rare that I just get so much of one thing. So, I felt it was important to go over the new rankings with the new players, I guess. And yeah, good luck. And you know, when this Green Bay Houston game turns into a 17-14 game, and I'm dead at 4, then I'll be piling on the late slate with all the Arizona guys anyway. So that's it. Have a good Sunday.